Hello students, welcome to class 11 physics class. Today we discuss laws of vector addition. In last class we discussed the multiplication of a vector by a scalar, by any real number, and different types of vector and their definition, their properties. Okay, so today we discuss the laws of vector addition. Addition means add the two or three terms, or when two or three vectors are added, they will follow some laws. Normally when we do the addition, suppose example 2 plus 3 that is equals to 5. Normally this is a algebraic addition, but those are the vector quantity, that means they have the magnitude as well as the direction. So the vector quantities does not follow the simple algebraic sum. They will follow the laws of vector addition. There's some laws are there, three laws are there. They will follow any one in between of that three laws, but they does not follow the simple algebraic addition. So vector addition is defined as the geometrical sum of two or more vectors as they do not follow the regular laws of algebra. The resultant vector is known as the composition of a vectors. So that means we have suppose two or three vectors, we using that laws and we get that is the result, the resultant vector, which is a composition of that vectors. But there are some conditions for vector addition. First, if suppose you have one scalar quantity, another one is a vector quantity. So we cannot add one vector and one scalar quantity together. Either it will both the scalar quantity or both the vector quantity. One scalar and one vector cannot can never be added. Second condition, for any two scalars to be added, they must be of the same nature. Same nature means their properties are same. So for example, if we take mass is a scalar quantity. When we add the mass, so another one quantity also be the mass, not the force, not the time. We cannot add the mass with the time or with the length. We add mass with mass. That for example, suppose 2 kg. 2 kg cannot be added with a 3 second. 2 kg is added with a 3 kg. 2 kg plus 3 kg equals to 5 kg. But we cannot write 2 kg plus 3 second that is equals to 5 or the 5 kg or anything. Okay. So whatever the things we choose, whatever the quantity we choose, they all must be the same nature. Same thing for the vector also. For any two vectors to be added, they must be of the same nature. So if we take the one example, velocity should be added with the velocity, not with the force. And their units also be different. You see the for if we take the second number example, that's for scalar, kg and time is second. Kg and second both are the different unit, and we know that if the quantity is having the different unit, and if we cannot convert it in suppose if you have a gram, another one is a kilogram, you can convert gram to kilogram or kg to gram, but any other unit, second, you cannot convert second to gram or kilogram. So that type of unit or that type of physical quantity cannot be added together. Same case for here also, for vectors, the velocity unit is meter per second, and if we consider the force is a Newton. We cannot convert Newton to meter per second or meter per second to Newton. Clear? Meter per second to kilometer per hour we can convert it. So these are the same nature, same unit. So when we add the velocity, it should be added with a velocity. Another one quantity should be the velocity. Its unit is different, but we converted it. Different means that we can convert it into the same unit, meter per second, kilometer per hour, this we can change it. But if you choose the force, that is Newton, we cannot convert it. So these are the condition for vector addition. Now for vector addition, there are three laws. One is the triangle law of vector addition, parallelogram law of vector addition, and polygon law of vector addition. So first we discuss the first law of vector addition, that is triangle law of vector addition. From this name, triangle law, that means we use or we draw one triangle. So let's start with the first law of vector addition, that is triangle law of vector addition. So statement, it states that when two vectors, here two vectors, suppose A vector and B vector, two vectors are represented as two sides of the triangle. We know that the triangle has three sides. So if two vectors are represented, the two sides of the triangle, then how they will represent in the order of magnitude as well as the direction. You see that we take the A and B in a same order. Direction is same. The not opposite to the A. So A and B. A and B represent the two sides of the triangle with the order and the direction. Then the third side of the triangle represent the magnitude and the direction of the resultant vector. And for this case, whenever we write down the resulting vector, it is denoted by capital R. So the two vectors, suppose you have two vectors A and B. This A and B are represented two sides of a triangle with the order of magnitude and the direction. Then the third side of the triangle, which direction also be the opposite to these two. So this resultant, the third side of the triangle represent the resultant vector. So R vector equals to, we can write A vector plus B vector. To obtain the R, which is result in the sum of A and B with the same order of magnitude and the direction as shown in the figure. So condition is these two vectors having same order, and these two vectors are represent the two sides of us. That's why we draw in that way, that it represents the two sides of a triangle. That's why we draw like this way. A is a horizontal and B is little bit tangent. Okay. So now we derive. So here what we derive. So that R equals to A plus B. This is a vector form resultant of the two vectors using the triangle law. R equals to A plus B. But there is an analytical treatment also be there, and using the analytical treatment we get the magnitude and the direction. Magnitude of the R and the direction of the R, how we can calculate using the triangle law. That derivation now we discuss here. Okay. Because the vectors have both magnitude as well as the direction. So magnitude means we use the modular sign. So after modular sign, what we can write? Because when we using the magnitude, or when we find out the magnitude, we did not use the vector sign. So any equation is there, or any expression is there to find out the magnitude, that we derive using the triangle law. Okay. So here in this diagram you see that the OP represent the A vector, PQ represent the B vector, and OQ represent the resultant of A and B, that is R vector. And from the triangle law of vector addition, we know that R vector equals to A vector plus B vector. Now we draw a normal QC. If we produced OP up to C, then we can over there we draw one normal QC. So the angle is 90 degree, and the angle between the angle QPC, that is equals to theta. Now from triangle OCQ, from this diagram you see that OCQ, this is a right angle triangle. So what we can write? OQ square equals to OC square plus QC square. That means hypotenuse square equals to perpendicular square plus base square. Now OC square, in place of OC square we can write OP plus PC whole square. That we can write here OC square equals to OP plus PC whole square plus QC square. Clear? Now the triangle PCQ, the small triangle PCQ, from this triangle what we can write about the cos theta and sin theta. Sin theta means perpendicular by hypotenuse and cos theta means base by hypotenuse. So cos theta equals to what we can write PC by PQ. Cos theta equals to, we can write PC by PQ. So we find out the value of PC. PC equals to, because in that expression we did not know the value of PC and QC. So first we find out the value of PC, because OP equals to A. We know that OP is represent the A vector. If we use the modular sign, its magnitude is only A without the vector sign. So but we did not know the value of PC and QC. That's why first we find out the value of PC and QC, then we put it over there, we get the expression. So cos theta equals to PC by PQ. So PC equals to PQ cos theta. Now here you see that PQ represent B in magnitude also, B vector. If we take the magnitude, then only B. So we can write B cos theta. Same as sin theta means perpendicular. Perpendicular is a QC. QC by PQ. So QC equals to sin theta into PQ. PQ means the B. So B sin theta. So now we get the values of PC and QC, and we know that the value of OP, because these are the magnitude form of modulus form, not the vector form OP, or PC, QC, OQ. These are the magnitude form. So now if we put the values of PC and QC in equation 1, so what we can get, OQ square. OQ represent the resultant. Resultant, because in the statement it is mentioned over there, it is considered, or it is represent with the order of magnitude and direction. So magnitude means the mod of A vector, that is equals to only A. So OQ represent the magnitude of resultant vector R. So resultant vector of magnitude of resultant vector R vector, that is equals to only R. So R square equals to, OP means A plus B cos theta whole square plus B sin theta whole square. After simplification, we get A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So R equals to what we can write? R equals to, we can write root over of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So this is the formula to find out the magnitude of the resultant vector. Suppose you have it is given in the numerical, A vector is given, B vector is given, you find out the resultant, and theta also be given. So you use this formula. First you find out the magnitude of A and B, because here you see that we did not use the vector sign. That means here A, B, R is the form of magnitude, are the magnitude, not the vector. So first of all we find out the magnitude of A, B, and then we put it here in this formula, then we can easily get the magnitude of R. In next video we also solve some problems, and then you can understand how we can find out the magnitude. For today's video we discuss only this laws of vector addition and two properties of vector addition. So this is the expression which gives us the magnitude of the resultant vector. So vector has two condition. Vector means it has direction as well as the magnitude. So magnitude we find out, then how we can find out the direction of the resultant vector? So in this figure you see that the resultant vector OQ makes an angle phi with the OC. So phi, let phi be the angle between the resultant vector R and the A, not P. It is the resultant vector R and A. So from the triangle OQC, see the diagram, triangle OQC, that original triangle, whole triangle OQC, what we can write? Tan phi equals to QC by OC, perpendicular by base. QC by OC means OP plus OC, OP plus PC, and we know that the value of OP and PC. OP means A and PC means B cos theta. Already we find out, so tan phi equals to B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. Now if you know the value of theta, then you put it over there, then you easily get the tan phi equals to any value. So phi equals to, you get this theta. So along this angle the resultant will be directed. So this is the equation which gives us the direction of the resultant vector. Clear? Okay. Now next law is the parallelogram law of vector addition. Parallelogram law is statement: if two vectors are considered to be the adjacent side of a parallelogram. In triangle side we also consider the two vectors represent the two sides of a triangle. That's why we consider in the same way. But in a parallelogram what happened? Both are not the same way. Both are the different way. One is and they are starting from the same point. Their starting point is the same point, that is O. Because in a parallelogram law, you know that the opposite sides are parallel and equal to each other. That's why in we know the diagram of the parallelogram. So we remember that diagram. That's why we consider the two sides. One is a lengthwise, another one is a breadthwise. So two vectors A and B we consider, which represent the adjacent side of a parallelogram. Then the resultant of that two vector is given by its diagonal. So whatever the diagonal of the parallelogram, that represent its resultant vector. So R vector equals to, we can write A vector plus B vector. In this figure or diagram you see that OP represent A vector and OS represent B vector. Both are in a different way, but starting point is same. Both are started from O. Okay, now if we join with a dotted line, it looks like a parallelogram. So OPQS is a parallelogram. Now if we draw a triangle from that point, common point of A and B, so that will represent the resultant of A vector and B vector. Okay. So here also this A and B vector, whatever we consider here, this is represent with the magnitude as well as the direction. Now derivation, analytical treatment of parallelogram law. So here in this diagram, we produce the OP little bit up to N, then we draw a normal QN over there. So we find out now, first we find out the magnitude of R. Okay. So in this figure, the OP represent in magnitude. Okay, in magnitude, OP represent A, OS represent B, OQ represent R, and the angle SOP, that is equals to QPN, is represent theta. You see the diagram, SOP and the QPN is the theta. Now in triangle QNP, the small triangle where we drawn the normal or perpendicular, that triangle QNP, Pn by QP, Q equals to cos theta, same as where the triangle. First we find out the cos theta and sin theta, because we did not know. Here we first, you can write the equation 1 first. Here we write at after find out the cos theta and sin theta. That's why you did not understand. But what we can write, the in a right angle triangle ONQ, what we can write, OQ square, hypotenuse square equals to base square plus perpendicular square, and base square ON, that can be written as OP plus PN. Okay, OP we know, but we did not know the value of PN. That's why we use the first small triangle to find out the value of PN. And we did not know the value of QN also. That's why we also find out the QN first. So first we find out the PN and QN, then we put it over there in the equation 1. Or you can write at first also this, in right angle triangle ONQ, OQ square equals to ON square plus QN square, that is equals to OP plus PN whole square plus NQ square. After that you can write that from the figure OP represent A, OS equals to PQ equals to B, and OQR equals to R, and the angle SOP equals to QPN equals to theta. Then the triangle QNP, cos theta equals to Pn by Pq, base by hypotenuse. So Pn equals to Pq cos theta, Pq means B, so B cos theta. Same way Qn by PQ, that is equals to sin theta, so Qn equals to B sin theta. Now you got the values of Pn and Qn. Now you put it over there in equation 1. So after putting the values, we get r square equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Same expression we get. That means whatever the any one law we can use to find out the resultant or the magnitude of the resultant. If it will be different, then there is a different cases. So for any cases we use the triangle law, for any other cases we use the parallelogram law, but because we get the same expression, so for vector addition we can use any one law. So r equals to, we get again a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Clear? Now the direction of r, here in this diagram you see that we consider the r vector makes one angle beta with a, makes angle beta with a. Sorry, here I will not mention over there. So you just when you draw or when you write in your copy, just make it over there beta, the r, and in between r and a, that means QON, QON. This angle will be beta. Okay. So beta equals, tan beta equals to what we can write from the triangle QON or QNO. OQ equals to tan beta equals to what we can write. OQ is the hypotenuse, ON is the base, and QN is the perpendicular. So tan beta equals to, if we mention over there that is beta, then Qn by On we can write, and On means OP plus Pn. So B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. You see that here also we get same B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. So beta equals to tan inverse B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. So we see that for triangle law and for the parallelogram law we get the same expression. Just your derivation process is different, diagram is different, okay, but we get ultimately same equations for magnitude as well as the direction. Now there are some special cases. If we consider the A and B acting on the same line or same direction, that means theta equals to 0, no angle between them. If theta equals to 0, then what will be the magnitude? So cos 0 means 1, cos 0 value is 1. So we get a root over of a square plus b square plus 2ab, and this is the formula for a plus b, the a plus b whole square. So within with square root a plus b the whole square, that is equals to, we can write a plus b. So if the two vectors acting along the same direction or theta equals to 0 degree, then the resultant vector, the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the magnitude of the individual two vectors. Clear? Second case, if theta equals to 180 degree, that means two vectors are mutually opposite direction. Theta equals to 180 degree, cos 180 value minus 1. So we get here a plus a minus b whole square. So from it will be within the square root, so we can write r equals to a minus b. So what we can say that if two vectors are mutually opposite direction, then the magnitude of the resultant vector is equal to the difference between the magnitude of individual vector. Now if theta equals to 90 degree, that means two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other. So we get r equals to root over of a square plus b square, and beta equals to tan inverse b by a. So now your question is, I think you have one question, why we not find out the 1 and 2 in case of 1 and 2 the direction. So it is your homework, you try to find out the direction, you get the value 0. For both cases you get the 0 value, no direction. That's why we did not find out. Try to in your home put the value of theta in 0 degree and second case 180 degree, then what you get, tan beta or tan phi, whatever you use, tan phi or tan beta equals to what we get, what will be the value of beta or phi. try to in your home. Okay. Third law is polygon law of vector addition. Polygon law of vector addition, normally when the vector is discovered, only two laws are there. One is a triangle law, another one is a parallelogram. So analytical treatment also be there for two, triangle and the vector parallelogram law. So polygon law is a combination of triangle law. So that means in polygon, when we see the derivation, not the derivation is very small for polygon law, we use the triangle law. So the basic laws for addition is triangle law and the parallelogram law, and we get the same expression for magnitude as well as the direction. So polygon law states that if a number of vectors can be represented in magnitude and direction by the sides of the polygon means many sides are there. So that means here we cannot consider the two vectors only. So many more vectors, 2 or 3 or 4. Okay. So if the number of vectors, they are represented the sides of the polygon in magnitude and the direction in the same order, that means one by one, then their resultant is represented in magnitude and direction at the closing side of the polygon taken in the opposite order. Let's see the diagram. This is the diagram. Suppose here we considered 4 vectors A, B, C and D, and we take in a same order, A after B, then C, then D, and the direction sign also A, then that means OK, K, L, L, M, N, M, N. Then the closing side, that is R, that is the direction is different of this 4 vector. It will represent the resultant of these 4 vectors. That means R vector equals to, we can write A vector plus B vector plus C vector plus D vector. So how we can prove? Here we use the triangle law, simple triangle law, and we prove this expression R vector equals to sum of these 4 vectors. So from first we join OL and OM. Here we use a dotted line, OL and OM. Okay. Then now we can write OK. So from this first one, OKL, from this triangle we can write OL vector, that is a resultant of A and B. Okay. And so from the triangle OKL, A vector plus B vector, that is equals to A plus B vector, that means the resultant vector. So we can write OK vector plus KL vector, that is equals to OL vector. Okay. Now by applying the triangle law of vector addition in the triangle, next triangle OML. So OML, the resultant of the first one is considered as the first vector and the second vector is C. So OM represent the resultant vector of A plus B vector and C vector. Okay. So what we can write, OM equals to OL plus LM. Now using equation 1, in place of, we get if we put in place of OL, from equation 1 we get the OL equals to OK plus KL. If we put it here, then we get OM equals to OK plus KL plus LM, that means A plus B plus C. Now similarly, if we consider the next triangle OMN, so now OM and MN are the two vectors, that means A plus B plus C is one vector and D is the another one vector, and their resultant is the ON. So we can write ON equals to OM plus MN. Now if we put the value of OM from equation 2, so we get ON equals to OK plus KL plus LM plus MN. That means R vector ON represent the resultant of the polygon of OKLMN. So R vector equals to A vector plus B vector plus C vector plus D vector. This is the polygon law. Just using the triangle laws, 3 triangles we consider here. First triangle, then the first triangle resultant considered the one vector for the second triangle. Then the second triangle resultant considered the one vector for the third triangle. Then we get the resultant. So R equals to A plus B plus C plus D. This is the resultant vector of that polygon. Okay, now we discuss two important properties of vector addition. Vector addition is commutative as well as associative. Commutative means A plus B equals to B plus A. This is a commutative law of vector addition. Associative law is A plus within bracket B plus C, that is equals to, we can write within bracket B plus C, A plus B, that is equals plus C. Okay, so first we prove the commutative law. So for commutative law, we use the parallelogram law. So here we draw one parallelogram OPSQ, where OP and PQ are the A vector and V vector, and OS is the diagonal of this parallelogram represent the resultant vector. So we can write OP plus OQ equals to R vector. That means A plus B equals to OS vector. Okay. Now we know that for the parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal and parallel to each other. So we can write OP equals to QS equals to A. If OP equals to A, then QS equals to also A. So now from triangle OQS, now we consider the QS is a vector. So from that triangle, what we can write? Because in the same way, so now OQ plus QS, that is equals to OS. We did not write the SQ plus QA because in the same way, in what way the vectors are aligned, in that way we can write the expression. So you see that OQ then OS and directional sign. So OQ plus OQS, that is equals to OS. So this is equation 1 and equation 2, AB plus AB vector plus A vector equals to OS vector. Now you see that equation 1 and equation 2 both are the equation of OS, that is the diagonal of the parallelogram, and OS. So what we can write, A plus B, that is equals to B plus A, and this is the commutative law, A plus B equals to B plus A. Next, vector addition is associative. Associative law means within bracket A plus B plus C, that is equals to A plus within bracket B plus C. This is the associative law. So vector addition is the associative law. How we can prove this one? So suppose here we use the polygon law. Okay, so here the three vectors we considered A, B and C, and they are represented by OP, PQ and QS. Now first we join OQ and then we join PS. So from the first triangle OPQ, what we can write using the triangle law? A vector plus V vector, that is equals to OQ vector. That means OP plus PQ, that is equals to OQ. Okay, and from the triangle OQS, what we can write? OS equals to OQ plus QS, OQ plus QS using the triangle law. From OQS, that in same way we represent we take the vectors, first OQ then QS, that is equals to OS. So OQ means A plus B within bracket, because it is represent the OQ vector. This is a single vector, not a two vector. OQ is a single vector, its value is A plus B. Okay, so OQ means A plus B within bracket plus QS is the another vector, that is C vector. This is equation number 1. Same way from triangle PQS, what we can write? PQ plus QS, that is equals to PS. That means B plus C equals to PS. And from OPS, that triangle, what we can write? OP plus PS, first OP then PS, that is equals to OS. So OP means A and PS means B plus C. PS means B plus C. This is a single vector. OPS is a single vector. Its value or it represents the resultant of PQ and QS vector. Its value is B plus C. So A plus within bracket B plus C. So from equation 1 and equation 2, you see that both are the equation of OS vector. So O is vector, so what we can write? A plus B within bracket plus C, that is equals to A plus within bracket B plus C. So this is nothing but the associative law. So vector addition also as the property of the vector addition is the associative. Vector addition is the associative as well as the commutative. Understand? These are the two properties of vector addition. Vector addition is commutative, vector addition is associative. Okay. In next class, we discuss some problems regarding that how we calculate the magnitude, direction, and another some new topic related to vectors. This is a very interesting chapter and very important chapter. Very important chapter. Okay. So if you have any doubt, any problem, please write in our comment box or in WhatsApp. Okay. Have a nice day. Tata.